This lesson or video is going to show you how to make lesson 1 visualization. Ultimately, it's going to look something like this, but I'm going to give you the walkthrough of how to do this accurately and quickly using this 3-view drawing as a guide. Now the thing to note is each one of these grids is equivalent to 10 millimeters. So if you count across, that would be 8 across. This would be an 80 millimeter distance. So count the grids to figure out the dimensioning. Okay, here we go. We're going to create a new part. I would recommend immediately saving it, but I'm going to jump ahead to this. So this is part of the practice of learning how to actually model things accurately. The strategy we're going to use is to take a look at the front view and recognize that as I trace along this here and down around is an extrusion that goes the entire length of the part into the top view. We'll deal with what this is later. But you can see from side view that that goes all the way through. So bear with me. What we're going to do is we're going to trace this outline of the part. And we're also going to note and take advantage of the fact that there is symmetry. That is a center line, and that there are 2 halves of this part. That can be, we can save ourselves some time by only having to draw half of the part. So what I'm going to start with is here, front plane. We're going to make a sketch on front plane. I'm going to immediately start by making a center line, and always starting from the origin and just coming up a certain distance. Now, I messed up here again already. You can be better than me. Remember to actually change your units to millimeter grams second right away. Watch what happens when I change this. It kicks me out of the sketch. I can recover this by right-clicking on the icon and going back in to edit the sketch. Now, if you make that same mistake, that's how to recover that, but millimeter grams second is what we want to start with. So, here we go. Line. Come here, not to this side. I'm going to click once. I'm going to come up on this diagonal. Click again. Click. And this is just the rough shape that I'm going to make. It's not even going to include yet the arc. So now that I've got this here, that's sketching from that point all the way around to that point right there. I'm going to go into my Mirror Entities option tool. Now it's going to ask what entities do I want to mirror. Well, I'm going to select the sketch entities, the lines that I just created, and then in the Mirror About, I'm going to select my center line. And when I do that, it creates the other half of that sketch. Now this is going to free me up to begin with the process of actually smart dimensioning this. I'm going to go methodically and do the horizontal dimensioning first, and then the vertical dimensioning. So I'm going to go to Smart Dimension. I'm going to click the bottommost line. That's 144 millimeters right now, by just how I sketched it out. Well, I'm going to change that to be 80 millimeters now. Look like it did much of anything. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm actually going to dimension this to be, if you were to count it up across, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 across. So 40 millimeters in this direction. And these right here would be 10 millimeters. That right there would also be 10 millimeters. But now I'm going to start going to my vertical spacing. So I jumped over, so now I'm starting to dimension vertically, what I should have probably done here. Let's take a look at the overall height, and that would be 1, 2, 3, 4 tall overall. And the dimension from the bottommost line to the topmost line segments. And that is going to be 40 millimeters. Now that's starting to take shape. Am I correct? Now what I'm going to need to do here is finish off. I need to connect those 2 points using what I recommend is a tangent arc. You would come down here. It's not going to be, the easiest is not going to be a center point arc, but a tangent arc. Click on that point, come down, click to that point, and you're going to see that it beautifully finishes off. This now shaded in because we have a fully enclosed profile, which is what we want. And notice that all of the lines are blackened, meaning that the sketch is what's called fully constrained. Now, based off of this, if I orbit around, you can see that I have a 2-dimensional sketch. What I can do from here is exit the sketch. I have sketch 1. I can click on sketch 1 from the feature manager tray and extrude boss base. The depth that we're going to extrude to is going to be 30 millimeters. We could click and drag this to go the opposite direction back that way to make it look more like how it's going to be in the drawing. And that's going to be 30 millimeters. So there it is, 30 millimeters deep. I'll check here at this point. Probably save my work. Now what we're going to need to realize here is we have got this little segment that's kicking out into space off of the front face of the part. So how I'm going to approach this is I'm going to create a sketch on this base of the part. So there's that base of the part. I could come here straight and go to extrude boss base from here. And notice that when I do that, it's going to kick me into sketch mode, which is what I want. And what we're going to do is take advantage of existing features to make our sketch. And all I'm going to have to do here is I'm going to create a line from that line segment, or that point, to that point. I don't want to carry all the way across here. I don't want to do that. I'm then going to change over. I'm going to hit the escape key, and then I can come to my tangent arc, and I'm going to keep coming here. I'm going to go tangent arc, click here. Didn't like that. Try it again. That worked a little better. I'm going to hit the escape key to get out of drawing the tangent arc. I'm going to then create a line segment from there to there. Okay, now I've just got line segments in a tangent arc here. I need to create another tangent arc to make this enclosed profile. What I'm actually sketching here is going to be this segment, or excuse me, enclosed profile. So I'm going to do now tangent arc. To there. It's having a little bit of a hard time doing that. So there, that took. That enclosed. I'm going to hit the escape key, get out of that, and see that that is now kind of a smiley face shape, or a half crescent. If I exit out of the sketch now, because I was in extrude mode, it's going to launch into the properties manager. And how far do we want to extrude this? Well, not 30 millimeters, but it's going to be, where we are is sketching from this face here, looking at it from the side, we're going to come out 10 millimeters. So we're going to have an extrusion of 10 millimeters. If I were to look at it, this here maybe makes it look a little bit more accurate to the side view. We're going to be coming here. That's going to make that 10 millimeters. And that right there, when I click and check, finishes that part off. That is what this part looks like three-dimensionally. So, see if you can approach that in the same method I just did that.